Welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns.
Let's go, baby! Well, the whole crew is here. The whole crew.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while. Let's get it.
When was the last time that we had everybody?
I don't know. Maybe I think 2 episodes ago, maybe?
No, it's been about three.
That's
Not even three.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4.
Well,
Dang,
I
it's
love
been
you
a
guys.
minute.
You guys
I
are
didn't even
family,
realize
so it's a family reunion. It feels good to be back.
Boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town for sure.
The boys are back in town. And you know what? What a better way to start off the episode than with breaking news.
Yes, sir.
That's right. This is Ed in Columbus with your Down with the Browns. Breaking news. Browns running back Kareem Hunt this week indicated that he would love to stay in Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland, let's get the hometown discount chant going. Jose, 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 Jose.
Jose.
Just like one Jose Ramirez. Let's get it done. In other news, the Browns say they're willing to eat half of Baker Mayfield's contract. Eating that much makes one to believe that they will probably not eat their cheesecake for dessert. And finally, reports of a new domed or retractable roof stadium have circulated. Honestly, I don't see what the debate is. Everyone loves dome. Hey, now. This is Ed in Columbus with your Down with the Browns. Breaking news.
I can't even.
Hey, everybody, I saw it even on Twitter. I know it's probably been, it is, but hey, any objections?
No, I mean, listen. No objections.
Yeah, you know.
Let's get it.
All righty then. And we're just going to introduce our very special guest coming in from the 216 Network and Faithful Dawgs podcast is Zach. Noah. Hit the wrong button.
Yes.
So let's go.
Baby.
How's it going, boys?
What's
What's
going
up?
Ed, I would love
to
some
me.
cheesecake. And
You know,
some
I
butter.
just want to
How's
say,
it going?
Zach is my brother over at Network 216.
Yes,
As I'm
sir.
part of the Barking Browns, he's part of Faithful Dogs podcast. So we are brothers under the umbrella that is the Network 216. So
And I know I had a lot of people asking me why I was wearing shades pre-show. It's because Down with the Browns' future is too fucking bright. You know
Let's
what I'm saying?
go.
Yes, sir.
I had to put my
Let's
shades on for this
go.
one, dude.
Hey, we're gonna get so lit this episode. Zach, welcome on, man. So great to have you. So great to have you.
Dude, guys, I am pumped, man. This is actually my first time recording in like 2 weeks, so shake the dust off a little bit.
Yeah,
A
we're
little
gonna have a
rust.
good time.
Okay.
Feel a little loosey-goosey, you know?
Yeah, so I'm drinking.
coming
Yeah.
in strong. Okay, my man.
All righty. And we're just going to start off with our first topic, and that includes Kareem Hunt, who is wanting a contract extension with the Cleveland Browns. So, boys, how we feel about that? We'll start with you, Matt.
Go
Or
ahead,
Manny.
Mac. Yeah, no, go ahead, Mac. Let's let Mac go, and then we'll switch it up and go.
So, I mean, it's really obvious. Unless Jerome Ford comes out and just shocks the absolute nation, there's no reason to not keep Kareem Hunt in Cleveland. I mean, not that I need to, but if you just look at it, like 44 total TDs since 2017, and that's with being Nick Chubb's backup for 3 years. There's a reason why he gets more reps on the goal line and closer to the end zone than Nick Chubb, because every time that he touches the football, he will go through you, go around you. It does not matter. Like, he runs with absolute abandonment, and it's crazy to see. I mean, looking at his like quarterback ratings when targeted since 2018, 148, 101, 121, and 93. So, you know, a majority of his yardage rushing has actually come after contact compared to before.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually becomes statistically a better runner after contact,
Mhm.
which is kind of nuts to think about. So I don't get it. I just don't get it, because you hear about this all the time. Well, they don't need Kareem Hunt, and he could be a trade piece, and, you know, we could flip him for more money and more picks. But how do you replace that is my question.
Yeah, like
So-
you have to hope you get it in the draft, and like you got to hope maybe
Mhm.
Jerome Ford is that next guy. But to your point, Mac, I feel like your trade piece, you signed him that tender with Ernest Johnson. I feel like that's the guy. If their plan is to keep Kareem, and I don't see why AB wouldn't start kicking the tires on it. Why not look into a Dearness Johnson trade? I don't know if Felton makes the roster as a running back, maybe a wide receiver. So I would see Chubb, Hunt, Ford as a 3 running back room.
Absolutely. I think obviously, Kareem Hunt averaging since he's been with the Browns, he hasn't averaged less than 4 yards a carry. He's on a 2-year, $12 million contract right now at the moment. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2023. I think he'll be 27 years old when the season starts. So my thing is if you were able to keep him for another year, maybe 2 years, and just to be able to balance that out with Nick Chubb, I have been on the hill. I feel like I'm the number one fan with this idea, but a lot of other people are a big fan of this idea. But sharing that backfield right now is what's keeping, if you can arbitrarily say, both of those running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, so healthy, right? I mean, you're looking at Christian McCaffrey overused, Saquon Barkley overused, Derrick Henry just finally getting overused. People are all high on Jonathan Taylor, all in there in Indianapolis. Guess what? I'm not trying to cause anything or say anything bad about his career, but if they keep overusing him, he's going to be overused and be injured. If it's not next season, it's definitely going to be the season after that. Having that tandem in the running back room of the Cleveland Browns right now, yeah, their running backs are a little bit older, but they're almost, you could say, fresh because you're able to exchange carries with them. And so I personally love that idea of bringing him back for 2 years. And to Mac's point, it all really kind of is predicated on Jerome Ford, right? So whatever you see from him, the running back drafted out of Cincinnati, whatever you see from him, if it's great, obviously you'll feel more comfortable moving on from Kareem Hunt. If not, you might as just kind of keep Kareem Hunt for an extended period of time. But Ed, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Look, if you actually look at the Browns running back list since 1999, we've had a few like Jamal Lewis, and there's been some ones, and obviously since Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and everything like we've had since, say 2018 onward. But I can make an argument that you look at some of the running back, Travis, Apprentice, Ben Gabe, going back to my day, and then going, all these ones that we've got, Chris Obanaya. I know they had some good games, but I mean, these were the running backs of the Cleveland Browns. And the fact that you got Kareem Hunt, I know you got Nick Chubb, and the fact that you got, a 1-2 punch that just cannot be, duplicated in the NFL. Why would you give that up? And like I was making a point before the show, people ask, well, he's too much. And, he's only too much if you are over the salary cap. And they restructure anyway. So I don't see him giving up a quality player as Kareem Hunt just because, that's what analytics say, or that's what. No, you have a chance. You haven't won the Super Bowl yet. See, here's the thing. Other teams have won the Super Bowl. Other teams are rebuilding. We've never done that. It's like the Cavs before 2014. You get LeBron back. You do whatever it takes to win a championship. And I think Kareem Hunt, when I see the Browns winning a Super Bowl the next couple of years, I see Kareem Hunt as a Cleveland Brown holding up that Lombardi trophy. So, yeah, do the right thing, AB. Get it done.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And, in this Gotham City of an AFC North, you got to have your Robin next to Batman to take it on.
Yep. You have to. You have to, man. And I think they want to play together, and I think they want to play together for an extended period of time. Like Mac said, it's keeping each other healthy, man. Like, you're not going to – your career's not going to be shortened because of that, and it's already showing. Nick Chubb will run off the field when he wants some rest. Probably not, a coaching scheme thing. And then, now we got Kareem Hunt coming right back in. It's the best running back duo in the NFL, man. Like, you got to keep it there if you can.
Well, to even go further in that, so you look at your game plan here and you say, all right, well, it's great that as the game goes on, the player gets better, but with limited touches, you have to be very efficient. And something across my desk right now, his depth of target is probably about 0.1 this past season, but he was averaging 7 yards per catch. And this passing offense needs that yak. Mm-hmm. So why not have Kareem Hunt running routes out of the backfield? Because he can do it, and we've seen it.
Oh, yeah. He can turn what's going to be a negative 3-yard play into 20, 25 yards down the field, and maybe even a touchdown. We've seen it time and time again. AB, pay the man.
Pay him.
And if anyone can do it, it's Andrew Berry, man. So let the process play out. Trust the process, man. I don't see why AB won't at least kick the tires on it, like I said, man.
Exactly. And, there's going to be some tires getting kicked around the city of Cleveland with a potential new stadium and the idea of a dome being built. So how do you guys feel about
Let's talk about it.
dome or
Let's
no
talk
dome?
about it. Let's talk about it. Ed, you want to start? Ed, start it up, Ed. Because I don't want to start it up. Start it up.
I kind of started a little small trash garbage fire today, and it kind of and look, it's just a little bit, Mac. Okay, so Mac comes at me and says he's got all this ammo to come at me with this, and that's fine. I am not gonna Mac. Look, I will say this one thing. Mac will present on this show. He will present facts that are reliable, they're valid, and they make a lot of sense. I don't doubt that, my friend. Here's the only thing I got to say to you. Football is entertainment. As I get older, hey, I see a lot of the younger generation. Look, they don't like the cold either. The Browns have a product where they got a great defense, right? Fast defense. You know what their number one thing that I like about the Browns defense is? They can stop the pass with the corners that they got. So I'm not really worried about teams running on us, and I think the defensive tackles, to Mac's credit, well, I shouldn't say he doesn't give credit to, I think it'll be better than what he thinks. So here's the thing, Mac. Now you finally got an offense. Let's look at the Browns' offense. They can run at will. They got a great offensive line. And you got wide receivers like Amari Cooper, and they get drafted David Bell that run great routes. They run great routes. And you know what I like? You know what's easy to do? Easy to run those great routes? I don't know, in conditions that are conducive to, I don't know, no elements of wind, snow, rain. It's like the Ohio State Buckeyes. When you have the superior team, when you play in the elements, it makes the inferior team have a better chance of beating you. This ain't the same old Browns of 1999 until 2018, basically. Okay, this is a kick butt team. This is like an Ohio State team with the talent of the Cleveland Browns. And these people are like, oh, don't build a dome because, the elements. The elements actually hurt good teams. And if you expect to be a good team or a great team like the Cleveland Browns, stop thinking like a loser for once. Guess what? From 1964, you won the title in 1964. You've had a stadium that's an open air since 1964. And what you won? Nothing. You fans have left a lot of playoff games in 1980 against Oakland, in 1988 against the Oilers, freezing their butts off. And guess what? A Southern team or a team from California came to Cleveland and kicked our butts. So once again, what did the elements do? It took the better team that was Cleveland, because we're hosting it, and gave the inferior team coming from another spot a better chance of winning. So that makes no sense. You got the better team. Stop banding scared. Get the dome, and you can actually enjoy football for once.
So
let me
Take your pulse.
all right. Let me go real quick. I just want to piggyback off of that, okay? You want to talk about, and I know you're going to bring up some stats, Mac the Buffalo. I know you're going to bring up some stats, guaranteed. But I got a stat for you. Top 8 highest scoring offenses in NFL history. You want to know how many of them played indoors? 4 of them played indoors. Okay, the Saints in 2011, Falcons 2016, Vikings 1998, and the Rams in 1999. The other 4 teams, let's talk about their quarterbacks real quick. Peyton freaking Manning, okay? Tom freaking Brady, ever heard of him? Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, if you don't have one of those 4 guys, obviously you're going to need them to be very good because they're playing out there in the elements. But the other guys that we're playing, we're talking about Drew Brees, obviously Matt Ryan, okay? 1990. But my thing is, indoors does matter, okay? And also, like Ed was talking about, bring some money in. We're talking about other venues. Don't you want Jay-Z, Beyonce? Don't you want MGK?
Don't you want a Super Bowl in Cleveland?
Exactly. To host one, to potentially be here. Mac, what's going on? You see the pictures that they were tweeting out, the land bridges and all that, the hotels. You gotta love it, Mac. So
you could even get the NCAA tournament.
WrestleMania.
You don't like the Undertaker? What's the Undertaker? I know he retired.
You have Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I mean, ask the city of Cleveland.
Mortgage Fieldhouse.
Hold on. Mac, I gotta answer that because Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse seats like 19,000. WrestleMania is like 80 at least.
Talk to him.
You're not hosting anything in Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse except for a Cats game.
We're gonna let you have the floor, Mac. We're gonna let you have the floor because I know I'm gonna hear a lot of stuff, and we're gonna need some time to rebuttal from all of these stats that you done looked up because you did your research.
I always have a little list that I scroll up and down during. Anyway, so I want to throw away the economy argument first off, because ask the city of Cleveland what happened when the Cleveland Cavaliers, their 3rd favorite sports team in the city. Let's be honest, I love the Cavs, But this is a football town, then a baseball town, then you have your Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, when they started going to the finals, what happened to Cleveland's economy? And, you don't need a dome to further, like, if the Browns were to win a Super Bowl, that would be the biggest economic gain in this city's history. I promise you. Now, you want to talk about a dome helps you win more? That's actually statistically not correct. A study was done in 2013 because a lot of these teams were like, hey, maybe we should get a dome. That's fine. And they looked into it. It's a 3% chance less that the home team wins because of a dome. Now, if you look at the road teams, because you also do realize that this team is going to be playing, 9 games on the road this year?
Yeah.
And now it's an uneven schedule, so there's going to be some years where they're playing more away games and more home games. And you look at it, and it's what? 38% chance for grass teams, and then you have 24% winning percentage for away teams that play in a dome. And the last team that was a dome team, because I'm not counting the Rams, that's open air. So you're still exposed to the elements. They actually had to postpone one game because of a lightning strike. So I don't count that as an indoor stadium. It was the Saints 2010 were the last team to win a Super Bowl. And if all of that doesn't make sense, let's look at it from a practical standpoint and we'll look at what's best for the players. Because, again, we want to put these guys in the best-case scenario, and that's grass compared to turf. Because if you look at non-contact injuries, and tell me, was injuries, a big part of why last year was last year? So you have 30% higher chance of non-contact injuries on turf, and you have a 69% higher chance of non-contact foot and ankle injuries. So, the only way that I see this as a better possibility is, number one, you wait till the lease is up in 2028. Because if you do any modifications right now to First Energy, you're going to be cutting capacity, and all that does is take away number of tickets. That's going to drive up sales. And now not only is it going to go harder to go to a game, but you're going to pay more too. So you look at 2028, you're going to have to get a retractable roof and removable grass. That's the only way that makes sense. So, and if you look at it from a financial standpoint, the Haslams are worth $4 billion. The project was estimated at $1 billion. So the city of Cleveland is going to pay a lot of higher taxes. Now, what happened was when that was asked last time. So,
Listen. I'll tell you what. If you say to the citizens of Cleveland, if that image is true, and you're asking them to pay higher taxes for a beautiful, beautiful stadium like SoFi, huge in Cleveland. First and foremost, I do want to talk to you about that.
They were asked that in 1994.
That's 1994, Mac.
This is 2022.
I'm 27. That's 27 years ago. Ask them now. Ask people in 1994 if they wanted a phone with no buttons. I'm gonna tell you, they'll be like, "What the
Mac?
But everybody wants one of these." So go ahead, Ed.
Jacobs Field was built in 1994, the same year as the ballpark in Arlington was built in 94. The Rangers got a new stadium in 2020. Now I'd see that the Tennessee Titans are asking for a new stadium, and it basically built the same year as First Energy Stadium. Look, as much as we want to think that the year 2000, and I'm guilty of it as well, I'm saying we're getting old, and these stadiums are like 20, 30 years. Hey, it's time for new, bro.
It's time for new. It's time for new. And they're not going to, they're not going to have artificial turf. Okay, let's be real. Okay, you look at the Raiders, you look at the Cardinals, it's natural grass. You pull it in, pull it out, you water it, you do everything. That's number one. So it's not going to be artificial. I understand. Listen, with $1 billion, you can at the taxpayers say you can. It'll happen, Matt. It'll happen. Yes, it will. And number two, I understand you're saying the finals, they brought in a lot of money for the finals. If the Browns win a Super Bowl, they're going to bring, of course they will. But don't you want some celebs to roll up in here too? You think celebs are going to come to first? You know what I'm saying? You want the celebs to be here as well and make it look beautiful. I get jealous when I saw the LA Raiders.
I'll roll up. You want celebs? Ed and Columbus be there if you get a dome.
Ed Columbus is the only celeb that we have so far coming. If we can't host, we can't even talk about it because we can't host the Super Bowl. That's right.
What's the definition of celebrity now? Like,
what's that?
You
don't want that, Mac? You don't want
using this term celebrity loose in here? And
Come on, listen. It'll change. Right now, the narrative of the Browns is changing. Yeah, all about this destination or whatever. No, I want the lights, camera, action. Everybody wants to come to Cleveland.
Well, here's the thing.
So
we haven't hosted a playoff game yet.
What's that?
We haven't hosted a playoff game yet. So you're still going to be playing games in the cold come January and February
for until 2029. Right. When we get our retractable roof. Yes, right. So I don't know.
and okay, even just away from the Brown standpoint, if you get a retractable roof or a dome, you can host things like the Final Four, the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. You get teams like Kentucky, Kansas, these huge fan bases that will travel anywhere on planet Earth to go watch their team.
Notice how he said Kentucky first. I noticed that.
Big Blue Nation, best fan base in basketball there is.
Basketball school, man, he is not wrong.
You cannot debate that. And they will go to the ends of the other side of the universe to go watch their Kentucky Wildcats play basketball. You could put that in Cleveland. It's selling out because it's kind of close. It's probably, I'd say it's about 4 or 5 hours from Lexington. So you're going to sell that out if it's Kentucky or Kansas or some other team. And as Zach said, WrestleMania.
Dude, I'm just saying.
You can sell that out real quick.
You're talking about the finals, which is like, okay, so you get what, a 7-game series, you get 3 or 4 of those games. That's just one time a year, Mac. You want this year-round revenue, man, for your economy of your city. You don't want just, okay, we got a finals game here and something like that. Oh, we got the World Series, a couple games here. You want that year-round. You want the WrestleManias. You want the big rock rap concerts right next to the Rock Hall, the city of rock and roll. You want that here, dude. And it's time to bring Cleveland to life even more, dude. Now the Browns are good. The Browns are on the up even more than we thought they were in 2018. So it's time, dude. I believe it's time.
And Matt, can I interest you in having one of the loudest NFL stadiums in the NFL? If there's a dome, that will the noise will be bouncing off of the walls. Deafening. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you're talking about the indoor winning percentage. A lot of these indoor teams are horrible who have indoor, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously you're talking about Aaron Rodgers having a really high, he plays the Vikings and the Detroit Lions in his division. You know what I mean? Of course he's going to have a high, like, come on. I mean, a lot of these teams that are playing indoors aren't the greatest. And we understand, we knew when the Atlanta Falcons weren't that good too, because it's like, let's be real. So I'm talking about a lot of this kind of situation with the winning percentages. Let's look at some of the teams we're talking about, right? And now we're going to be on the up and up. Wouldn't you love to have a playoff game indoors in a beautiful situation? It's cold outside. It's cold outside, but you take your jacket off, you come inside. It's temperature controlled, Mac. Real loud, Mac.
Yeah, but you're going to be tailgating outside. You're going to have 6 layers on. You're telling me you're going to walk inside here and you're going to be trying to dig through.
Build a dome over the Muni lot.
Oh,
that was a joke, but if you guys like that idea, let's go with it.
Problem solved.
I like it.
Problem solved.
Man, we're just all going to live in a dome.
We got to think in 2029. We can't think about now. We got to think 2029 out here. Come on now.
Yep.
No, I don't want snow on Christmas. I want to live in a dome.
I don't think we persuaded Mac very well, but we'll give it some time. We'll just build
Mac a snow globe.
Here's the thing. You win playoff games and you go to the Super Bowl. You win it big. Do whatever the hell you want.
Look at Mac Jones, dude.
Wait. Can you repeat?
Couldn't even walk.
So once the Browns win a Super Bowl, we can do whatever we want.
Playoff games. Okay. You go to the Super Bowl. You win the Super Bowl. Do whatever the hell you want with that stadium.
You heard it here first.
In the end, that's what we all want. And that's
we have when the Browns win the Super Bowl and some playoffs games.
Well, I think we're gonna win one before 2028. I think you win the Super Bowl.
I hope so.
And then you build the dome afterwards. I think with Watson we're gonna win one in the next 3 to 4 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Haslam doesn't care what Mac the Buffalo says. He's going to listen to the other 4 of us over
here. Jimmy sides with us.
But I'll drive down to Knoxville.
Jimmy and Ed are on the speed dial, dude.
But I'll go down to Knoxville, buddy. I'll go tell him what it is. Mm-hmm. Anyways. And, speaking of on the phone, apparently the Panthers have been on the phone with the Browns about Baker Mayfield. So Baker possibly to the Panthers?
Please. Hurry up. Just get it over with.
Yes.
Exactly.
Is anyone else feeling like that, dude? Like, just get it over with. I know we're not going to cut him. It's just not going to happen. Either way, like Josina Anderson said on Pat McAfee today, either way, they got to pay the guy. So why are you going to cut him? So, dude, if you got to eat like $14 million at this point, I don't even care, dude.
Rumors have it
million.
half. They're eating half. What do you think about that? Rumors have it half.
So half of the 18?
Yeah.
No, they're probably gonna have to eat more.
Yeah, they're gonna eat even more, dude. They're
talking about that $1 billion stadium. They better eat more of that money. Go, Christian. Do you want to say something, or I'll take?
So, is there any like players you want to see the Browns possibly get in that trade with Baker? Maybe like a lower end linebacker, maybe Robbie Anderson. Maybe he's on the table.
I heard Derek Brown out of somebody suggested. I think it was William Kaufman that suggested it. And that's
defensive tackle. Their defensive tackle.
See, I don't think the Panthers would do that. They like him too much.
Trade Derek Brown.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Get out of Auburn.
Yeah, I think that I want to see them. I want to see them make this move, right? I don't care if it's because honestly, with these rumors coming out so strongly as they were, like the past past week, they must have saw something in Sam Darnold where they're like, we might not want to do this, or Matt Corral. They're like, man, Cleveland, how do you feel about Baker? So they saw something, right? Because they weren't talking this. They were like, oh no, you better eat, $17 million of his contract if you even want us to start entertaining this during draft, right? But as soon as OTAs comes or mandatory minicamp comes around, all of a sudden their tone kind of changed, right? So it's like, okay, we'll think about it. So something happened. Something's happened. So Andrew Berry kind of called their bluff and was like, hey, you like what you have over there? Okay, we'll see how much you like it. And then all of a sudden now you see this kind of stepping back. So I think you eat $8 million, make it $10 million, send Baker Mayfield over there. I don't know if you want Robbie Anderson, I don't know, but Robbie Anderson started walking back his statements because somebody probably like a GM told him, bro, shut up, we're gonna get Baker Mayfield. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get Baker Mayfield over. He's talking about retiring, and then he came out last week and said, oh, I was just defending Sam Darnold, he's my quarterback, that's why I said heck no to all this other stuff. No, somebody came up to you and said, you better shut your freaking mouth or recant your statement because we're getting Baker Mayfield here. So
Robbie Anderson too. Robbie Anderson, sorry about that, Manny. Robbie Anderson too was the same dude that like quote tweeted a video of Sam Darnold overthrowing him in New York.
Yes.
He don't want to play with either of them.
No. Pair him back up with Hollywood Higgins. Get Baker down there with Hollywood Higgins, and I'm sure they probably that's another thing. Probably Hollywood Higgins like he's actually not that bad or something like that. You know what I mean? Came to his defense. Bro. You know what I mean? Matt Rule probably is like, hey, Hollywood, tell me.
Fit for the Panthers, and they're slowly. Well, I shouldn't say they are. Matt Rule is slowly losing a little bit of time here. He needs to produce a winning football team. And here's the thing: Sam Darnold, not quite it. They tried. Not quite it. Matt Corral's not ready yet. And they have – I mean, you want to think that Christian McCaffrey would not be, injured 2 seasons in a row. But you have him. You have DJ Moore. You have Robbie Anderson. Hollywood Higgins is there. You've revamped your O-line. Like, your offense is ready to go. You just need a signal caller that can produce some at least above average play. And I know Matt
Rule was coaching at Temple football, but that Temple football connection with PJ Walker, he clearly doesn't trust PJ Walker too much under center as well. So you know what I mean. So my thing is that I say bring Baker Mayfield into Carolina, but Ed, I want to hear what you. I know you have something to say, so I want to hear what you have to say. I need to hear it. I need to hear it. Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like obviously the Baker wars have been going on for forever. Now I think it's getting to the point where it's just the same old tired, things being flung at each other, and it's all predictable. But I'll tell you what, get Baker to Carolina because it'll still be the same things up until that game. But when that ball kicks off, the war on Twitter between the Baker Bros and oh my gosh, and I think that 3 hours, and I hope for the Cleveland Browns' sake that it's not a Carson Wentz situation where they beat you the first game like that. So that's where I'm at with that one. So that's
I'm in the spaces. I'm in the spaces week 1. Actually, no. I'm at the stadium week 1. No,
bro.
Let's be real.
I'm there anyways. Baker or not, I'm gonna be in
every incomplete pass will be. It'll be just
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Dude,
So-
it's gonna be civil war like we've never
wow.
seen before, dude. It's
It's gonna
huge,
shut
right?
down Twitter.
Right, Ed?
It's gonna
be
shut down
huge.
Twitter. Hey, Elon, better make sure you have enough out. Twitter might be shut down that day. It's gonna. Go,
I mean,
it's gonna
I
pop
learned
off.
a long time ago to go with the Ken Carman approach when it comes to watching Browns games. I turn Twitter off because it's just like the second that something happens and the tide shifts in the other direction, and this is the same battle that's been going on for years now. And I'm not even talking about, pro or anti-Baker. I'm just talking about, the optimistic versus the pessimistic.
Myles Garrett slamming Baker to the ground. You know that. That's
You-
gonna Twitter.
Oh,
goes
that was-
nuts.
Warden
The-
pick six. Warden
the-
pick six.
Like,
The worst thing that could happen for Browns Twitter is if Baker Mayfield goes 35 for 45, 400 plus yards and 3 touchdowns, but the Browns win. I think everybody, half of the Browns Twitter are gonna be like, "Oh, see," and then the other half is like, "Yeah, you still took the L" or something like, you know what I mean, or something crazy,
Yeah.
or vice versa. The Panthers win and Baker Mayfield plays horribly. So you never know. So it's gonna be such a crazy week 1 if he goes to Carolina, and I would kind of like it. I would kind of like it. A part of me with the storyline, I kind of want it. So
The
that's
NFL,
me
the
being a
NFL
little
wants
selfish.
it too. Trust me. The
Yeah.
NFL wants it too.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Week
For sure.
one.
For sure.
One,
And I think we get
especially
the
against like non-divisional opponents,
Yeah.
they got to have some kind of
And-
story.
That would be a
And
great storyline.
And Baker's gonna jaw off on the Browns. He's gonna say something like, "Oh, they did me dirty, yada yada." That chip's
already
gonna get a little
has.
heavier on his.
He already
That-
has.
Hey,
dude.
is
That
that-
chip's
is
gonna
that-
get a little heavier on his shoulder.
Is that
You
game
know?
moved to 425? If he goes,
They might just leave it at 1 because it'd be the
Ah,
featured. I know what you're saying, Manny. That's a good question, though. That's a great question because I guess it depends
it'd be interesting.
I don't think
how
they
much drop
like,
they
can you
generate.
move times
They-
early?
It's all about. the
yeah, usually
they've
they
already
don't
said
do
it.
like a 1 to 4, a 4 flex. It would be like a 1 to like the night game.
I don't
Yeah.
think I know it's not going to be Sunday night. I know
Well,
it's
yeah.
gonna be Sunday night. But like
That'd
that's
be
why
awesome,
I said to 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I don't
It'd
know.
be-
I don't want to hear Tony Romo call any more Browns games.
Oh man, for sure.
It's only ended
Stop
up
telling me the plays before.
Well, he's
it
on
happens.
Monday night, isn't he? Isn't he on Monday night now?
Oh, he did move.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He moved. Yeah, with the Buck.
With Joe Buck, right?
Joe
so,
Buck,
Oh,
hey, as long as
yeah.
you're not playing on Monday nights, you don't have to worry about it.
And
Oh,
like,
Jim.
not-
Yeah. Here we go, Jim.
and imagine, I don't know, I don't think it'll happen, but like, let's say Watson doesn't get suspended. Oh, that game would be so hot. Watson versus Baker, week 1.
I'm actually speechless even talking about what would even occur.
Dude.
Just by the simple fact that he's not suspended the whole, like anything, but at all. But then adding on the fact that it's Watson versus Baker in Carolina,
Week 1.
you're gonna see so many, like it's gonna be so weird because half the crowd's gonna be wearing like red for Oklahoma City Sooners. So I don't know, or they might buy Baker jerseys. I don't know.
Could you
But
imagine
so it'll be interesting.
the Sooners in their bandwagons just circling the state of
I
South
don't know,
Carolina?
dude. You could potentially see a lot
It's
of
north.
You could potentially see a lot of Clemson Watson jerseys, dude. You never
Yeah.
know.
That's true. That's also true.
Hey, I didn't
You
think of
never
that.
know.
Yeah, that's also true.
Telling you, that would be must see TV, man. That'd be crazy.
That would be. And it's not looking like Watson's going to play much this year, if any. Do you believe in QB2, Jacoby Brissett? Do you think he can lead the Browns to the playoffs? We'll start with you, Zach.
Dude, I love Jacoby Brissett, dude. I think a lot of Browns fans are now starting to see just clips of him and kind of buying into the hype a little bit. And it's just he's a good quarterback. He's a good, he can step up in the pocket, dude. He can place balls on pinpoint. We've seen it. He looks like he has a good connection with Felton early on too. So that's something to be proud of. I don't see why. Like I know people are thinking a 1-year suspension for Watson now. I don't think that's going to happen just because of the NFLPA. I don't see that happening at all.
Absolutely.
So the whole nother story is: would you want to see a 12-game suspension, or would you rather just have the year and get the next 5 years still of Watson? But I think Jacoby can lead us. Say we get 8 games without Watson, I think Jacoby can get us above 500, dude. And I think if it was the case, if Watson was gone for the whole year, I think Jacoby in this offense, with best running back duo in the NFL, best offensive line, Amari Cooper, David Bell is going to be a stud. I really Njoku, dude, come on. And the defense is amazing. I think Jacoby Brissett can definitely lead us to the playoffs, dude. Maybe not win the division, but he can definitely lead us to the playoffs.
I'll agree to that. And I know we've talked about this a couple times on the podcast. We've even talked, or just even amongst ourselves, we've talked about when he was with the Colts and how high-tuned that offense was. Really, it's not up to the par that the Browns have. Like, we have a dominant O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb is far beyond Frank Gore at age 45 that they had. And Jacoby Brissett, I mean, even going back to last year, the problem with Baker wasn't even like his shoulder. It was the way he was playing. Like, he would just throw it into triple coverage. Jacoby Brissett is a really smart, high IQ quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over much. And I think that if we had Baker without as many turnovers last year, we win a bunch more games than we did.
That's true. I think a couple of it. I mean, I don't know. I obviously the Baker talk is can be exhausting at times, but like, was it exactly. Was it the arm? Was it the decision making? Was it just overplaying because he's trying to get a contract extension? I don't know. But I will say for Jacoby Brissett, kind of the interesting question is, Zach kind of touched on it a little bit by saying the division would be a little bit harder to win. But obviously, depending on how the AFC shakes out and how close it was last year, how much better the AFC West got going into this season, it's almost like you kind of almost have to win the division to go to the playoffs if you're the AFC North, unfortunately. So the question might be is like, hey, we have a really interesting schedule in the first 4 games. So it's like, you win a couple of those, maybe go 3-1. Important. You got to beat the Steelers. So I think can Jacoby Brissett win the division is more of an important question, just because of how well the AFC looks like they're going to be playing this coming season. And I believe the answer is yes, because the team around him has gotten better. Jadeveon Clowney, there's not going to be that learning curve anymore. You add in a couple of pieces. Perion Winfrey, he might be, not even likely. He's surely a dog. So I think you add in a couple of pieces on defense. Joe Woods, you saw the back half of the season. I know Mack is saying, they weren't great on rushing, whatever the case may be, but they weren't giving out freaking 45 points like they did versus the Chargers in the back half of the season. So I don't expect them to have that this year. So you just have an overall better roster. And if you stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. If you stay healthy, I do believe they can go into a couple of these divisions games and win some with Jacoby Brissett with some competent quarterback play. And we've seen it before. Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer went to Joe Flacco, or Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that we're going to go Super Bowl with Jacoby Brissett, but it's tangible to make that run and go to the playoffs if you have some competent quarterback play with a beautiful constructed roster around you, which is what Cleveland has.
Well, if you get everybody on that same page, everybody has the same goal, everybody's in the same mindset, I think you can go a lot farther, because that's kind of like what happened with the Bengals last year. They went farther than their talent showed. They got to the Super Bowl. I mean, they did have
their defense.
Joe Burrow. Exactly. That defense stepped up, though.
Yes. I mean, considering that they were tied for third. The pass rush duos all tied at number 1 with 52 pressures, and it was Clowney and Miles, Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt, and then Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. They were all tied for first in total pressures. Now, my problem comes here is, let's just call it how it is. Jacoby Brissett is 2021 Baker with 7 less interceptions. I mean, we're talking a 60% complete. This is his best season, 2019. 60% completion, 2,900 yards, 8 TDs, 6 interceptions. Now, people are going to sit here and they're going to say, this Colts roster was not talented in 2019. That's incorrect. Marlon Mack was a 1,000-yard rusher, and then he had 3 solid targets: Hilton, Pascal, and Jack Doyle. 5 TDs, and 4. So and if you look at just on yards, Brissett had 200 extra yards after catch compared to 2021 Baker. Now, if it's just 4 games. Sure, yeah, I'll take Jacoby Brissett. That's fine, because he's not going to lose you any games. Now, can he win against the top talent from week 5 on? I mean, you're telling me, is he going to beat Belichick? Is he going to beat the LA Chargers, who are loaded in secondary and now have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack? And then you have the Ravens and the Bengals, who are going to give you their best games all year, two high-powered offenses that you have to keep up with. Because no matter how good the defense is, if you are not maintaining, possession of the football, and you're not sustaining drives, and you're not getting first downs, it's going to wear out your defense. And when you're wearing out your defense, I don't care how good you are on defense. If you're out there too many plays, you're going to eventually give up something. And then you have Miami, who's had a pretty good defense, and they're more on the up and up. And then the Bills, the best secondary in all of football last year, and then the Bucs, which is the Tampa Bay Bucs. So yeah.
So hear me out. I kind of have a question for you guys, because I forgot where I heard it, but I know I heard it come up, and I never thought about it like this. So say Watson does get a year, they don't nothing fights it, anything. A lot of fans might not be like, okay, like Max said, okay, maybe we don't want Jacoby for a full 17-game season with all the hype around this team we have. Jadeveon came back for just 1 year because he wanted to chase the Super Bowl. Do you potentially make the call and go, hey, what do you want for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Okay. Yeah, now that's a little bit more enticing.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Jimmy Garoppolo still isn't top 10, but
no.
He can still push the ball more downfield.
He almost made a Super Bowl last year with the 49ers.
So
yeah, I think I want to quickly interject before I let Ed go, because I know he probably has some things to say about this. But going back to your point about Jacoby Brissett, Mac, 7 less interceptions than Baker Mayfield in 2021. 7 less interceptions wins you 3 more games: Packers, Chargers, and Chiefs. So you win those 3. You win those 3. The AFC is looking way different. Mm-hmm. You win you might win the division, but you're definitely going to the playoffs. So I look at those 7 interceptions, as not something. At least the minimum was you 3 more games. Also, earlier I said the Chargers scored 45 on the Browns. It was 47, so that's my mistake. But those 7 interceptions, the turnovers are costly, and it what turnovers does is keeps throwing your defense out on the field. And it gets to the point where it's tiring, unless you're the Baltimore Ravens, who played the Browns, where you throw 4 interceptions from Lamar and you still win. So clearly that defense didn't care. But anyway, that's besides the point. But I think those, just being able to not turn the ball over and not have your defense out there all the time when they're creating those pressures that you're talking about, tied first in the NFL, when you come out with Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett, that enables you to win some more of those close games. So I don't want to just sweep that under the rug oh, you're basically Baker 2021. Those 7 interceptions wins you some freaking games.
Yeah, but it's still 60% completion percentage. You know what I mean? It's still it's those turnovers, Mac. You don't give that ball over to the other offense. How many get Aaron Rodgers, a perfect example. But if you're still not getting the first down, you're still not sustaining the drive. And
go.
It's tough. It's tough that we're even having to have a conversation about the backup.
That's
in all reality, when looking at Jacoby Brissett, no matter what I have just said, I mean, he's the best that they have. It's got to work. Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
Would you say that would you say that he's better than Case Keenum?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely better than Case Keenum. And
the greatest.
You're looking around the league, and after QB1, you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel here, man. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we even got Jacoby Brissett, I would say that's a win. Now, I just don't know. But again, he was the best choice in the market there. So I can't. I do love the pick. I love him as the backup QB here, as the as the game manager, because again, he's not going to lose you any games. Right. But I'm worried about him having, that third down, game on the line. Can he do that? Because we were asking that same thing about, now, granted, again, he's QB2. He doesn't, are the expectations a little bit less then? I don't know. But it's
less than number 1 overall pick. Hell yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, Ed, let's hear your take on it.
All right, I'll make it simple. The question was, can he lead us to the playoffs? Jacoby Brissett, absolutely. 10-7, 11-6, sneak into the playoffs. But to Zach's point, he mentioned Jimmy G on last week's Barking Browns, presented by Network 216. Because Zach's my brother, great minds think alike. I posed a question that he threw out there in inquiring Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that would be a great way to not give up on the season, because even if Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, and guess what? He always gets hurt. You have Jacoby Brissett then as your backup, and I already said that he can take us to the playoffs, and that way Jadeveon Clowney doesn't waste a year. Like you said, it's always good to attract. One thing to attract free agents is to keep your promises. So the Browns, Jadeveon Clowney signs with Andrew Berry with the thought of making playoffs, and so other free agents will be like, you know what, the Cleveland Browns, when they say they're going to make the playoffs, or they're planning on making the playoffs, and they do make the playoffs, if you're an older veteran, it helps establish the culture of getting that pipeline of free agents. So I like that point. So a lot of good things, and I'll just leave it at that. But thank you.
Heck yeah. So we'll just go into dog or pup since we've got a little extra time. Jacoby Brissett, dog or a pup?
Who's going first?
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
I'm gonna say dog. I'm gonna say dog.
I mean, for what he is, as a backup QB, he's a dog.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. I actually like that. That's what I'll go. I think Jacoby Brissett, for being a QB2, he is a dog. I don't want to say as a starter in the league. Again, the only time that I saw him last year was Thursday Night Football, Dolphins versus the Ravens. And I just remember his jersey being all messed up, dirty, and disgusting. And then all of a sudden they throw in Tua late game, and then Tua comes out and squeezes a win. Was that cover 3 or was that Tua? I don't know. Let the Dolphins discuss that. But I will say, so I wasn't really high on that. But I will say that Jacoby Brissett is a dog as a QB2, and then as a starter, as a starter for the whole year, I think that he's a pup until proven otherwise.
I dig it. So we'll go with the opponents in the AFC North. Joe Mixon, dog or a pup?
Joe Mixon is a freaking dog, and I think it's embarrassing to say otherwise. Game on Twitter, and shout out to Zim, shout out to all those guys who are big, Cincinnati Bengals fans. Joe Mixon's a dog. Joe Mixon's a dog. So, not too much from me anyway.
Agreed.
I mean, he was better than what prime Jeremy Hill was in Cincinnati. Not only can he run outside the tackles, inside the tackles, he can catch balls out of the backfield. He's always at least top 5 or 6 in rushing every year. So, definitely a dog.
I'm going with dog. I hate facing him, but he's a dog.
You guys want to see another shameless plug? Well, here's what I got for you. A Bearcat's in Cincinnati, and I don't know what a Bearcat is, some fictitious animal. And they got Joe Mixon, who's a Bengal, so that means he's a cat, but he's really he's a dog. I got to agree with all you guys that Joe Mixon is a dog. So shout out to Ross, Roger, and Andy. Catch me on the Dog Chug 10 o'clock Wednesdays. Thank you.
Snorted.
All right, we'll do. We'll do a dog or a pup for every team in the AFC North. So the Ravens is Chuck Clark, safety. Dog or a pup?
I think that Chuck Clark is a. I think Chuck Clark. I'm gonna say he's a pup. I'm gonna say Chuck Clark's a pup.
I'm gonna go with that pup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with pup. I'm gonna go with pup.
I'm gonna go with pup. Burnt toast.
It's just he's such a weird player because he's on the back end of a terrible secondary. The stats say he's good, but when looking at him, he's a pup.
Yeah, he don't pass the eye test.
I am pissed at how good their draft was this year, though.
Oh my god!
I'm so pissed at how good their draft was this year.
Yeah. David Ojabo, Travis Jones.
What was that pick? 23.
Yeah,
when they took who?
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton.
No, Hamilton was in the teens, and then it was Linderbaum.
17, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they got the pick back.
They got Linderbaum. Dude.
I thought for sure was going to be a top 10 pick, considering he was the best player in the draft. But
I wanted the Browns to take him at 13 or something at one point, dude.
we talked about that.
But like Linderbaum, I mean, he's the guy that manhandled Tristan Wirfs, who was measured out to be the best graded tackle in all of football last year. And Tyler Linderbaum took him to the wrestling mat and manhandled this dude. That's how you knew he was good.
Yeah.
But so we all agreed he's a pup, right?
Yeah, he's a pup. Yeah, he's a pup. He's a pup for sure. He's oh yeah.
All right.
Not likely
So
for sure.
We're gonna move on to the Pittsburgh Squealers.
Oh no.
Chase Claypool.
Oh gosh.
I don't care.
I'm a top 3 receiver in the NFL.
Exactly, Manny. Just because he called himself that, dude, he's a pup.
It was, what's crazy for Chase Claypool, and maybe because I know a lot of Steelers stuff, because again, I'm just surrounded by Steelers fans. I think Chase Claypool with his season, his rookie breakout season, that was fantastic for fantasy owners who picked him up. It's by week 3. I think a lot of people expected a lot of big things. It was one of those things where it's like, wow, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know how the heck they are able to draft these wide receivers and mold them into who they are. But Chase Claypool last year, I don't know what it is. He concentrated. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever, but I think he concentrated a little bit on his off the field kind of dancing TikToks and wanted, quite frankly, from the outside looking in, he wanted so badly to be Juju Smith-Schuster, right? I mean, he wanted to be the TikTok guy. He wanted to be whatever. He wanted to be on the cover of Madden. He wanted all this other stuff that he thought that he was going to get after a great, fantastic first season. But he's a pup. He's a pup right now. So I like Deontay Johnson's better than him.
Well, and that's the crazy part about it is you have one of the best route runners in your locker room. You have an explosive yards after catch machine like Deontay Johnson, and you have the stones to go to Twitter and disrespect him like that. I mean, that's how I would take it.
Can we play music at practice, Coach Tomlin? Can we play music at practice?
Dude.
Like Claypool is so worried about his first down celebration that he blew the Vikings game. That's the part that I can't
about it.
Like you're so obsessed with yourself that you have to celebrate instead of winning.
Nothing wrong with that, Mac.
Touchdown, and you got like a flag for excessive celebration. Oh, at least I scored points. You didn't do anything except run the clock out.
And then didn't he blame a teamate too?
Oh yeah. Blame the ref, even though he's holding on to the ball for an extra.
I thought he blamed the lineman.
On the field or something like that.
Oh yeah, the one who bumped into him and tried to grab the ball.
Trying to get the ball out of his hands.
Like
guys. He's a dog. He's a dog with pup tendencies. What's wrong with liking? I love me some me. So I understand the guy. But here's the thing that really, really matters. He's got a quarterback with some tiny hands, and that's all that really matters. So he can be a dog. He can be a dog all he wants. He's going to be no problem to the Cleveland Browns because of the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, actually. He's a pup. He's a pup.
I can't wait till we have we see that first play from like the playoffs with Kenny Pickett. Like every snap, they snap it back. He just like goes flying because he can't grab the ball. It's gonna be beautiful.
Horrible.
I love watching him fumble snaps
on national television. Put that clip up there.
Does anybody tell him he looks absolutely ridiculous throwing a football with wide receiver gloves? Does anybody ever look at him and be like, "Hey,
listen"? There's a quarterback. There's a quarterback.
Even then, he had the bare hand. I mean, like
now, Mac. There's a quarterback. The American underdog had double gloves. Was in the Super Bowl. Lost to the Steelers. Kurt Warner had 2 gloves on at the same time. So let's not. Obviously he got 32 gloves.
First of all, no, we're not going to mention Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, who could hit.
You did. He wore double gloves. You were the one who brought it up.
And you're just even drawing comparisons with him and Kenny Pickett. That is.
Hey, listen. You said he looked ridiculous with 2 gloves on. I'm
comparing gloves.
Let's be real. The only QB I want compared to Kenny Pickett is Bo Callahan. Hey, look at the pictures. They look identical.
Look it up.
Okay.
We'll post it.
Am I weird for not knowing who Bo Callahan is?
Draft day?
Oh wait, the QB1 from draft day.
Yeah. Nobody went to his birthday party.
Yeah.
That's why the Browns didn't take him. I love it. Kim Costner, the GOAT.
Oh wow.
I told you.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I told you.
We're gonna post
Look
that
at
for
it.
all of our
Look
listeners
at
in the
it.
podcast.
Side by side.
Look it up. Look it up.
Same
Bo
person.
Callahan draft day. Kenny Pickett comparison. Look it up.
It's factual.
A third round.
He kept dropping his script too. When he was reading his script.
I mean, I don't mean to be extra, but when they announced that pick, I was laughing like a hyena.
I cannot believe
Dude,
this.
I was so happy. I was so happy they took him in the first round, dude.
Oh, me too.
I just couldn't believe it.
They said a lot of Steelers fans I was talking to who are huge Steelers fans and and everything. They said that they wanted Kenny Pickett the entire time, but just didn't think that he was going to be there. So that's why they said so much about Malik Willis. So apparently, within Steelers confines of Steelers Nation, they got their guy. So they actually were kind of pumped. So I don't.
To be fair, we were pumped about Colt McCoy.
Right, exactly, and friggin' Johnny Manziel. But I think so.
Traded up for Brady.
Whatever that means exactly, Steelers Nation got who they wanted. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, you know.
There was no quarterback, and every other team proved it to take in the first round of this draft.
Yeah,
and they just completely.
So for them to do that, yeah. I mean, they. I don't know if it was the Dan Marino curse or whatever, but
people considered him the best one. Like the project quarterback should not be considered the best
one. Why don't you wait until next year? Because now you're going to look silly if Kenny Pickett isn't great, and then now you have to go back into the QB carousel for next season, which is great. You got a lot of quarterbacks that you could choose from, especially it's top heavy, obviously with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud and Will Levis from Kentucky. Shout out to Christian. But so we'll see exactly what they want to do. We'll see.
Heck yeah. And boys, I think it's been a great episode.
Yo, Zach,
we got down with the Browns.
By. Zach got down with the Browns. Thank you so much for stopping by, bro.
This was a blast, man. You guys are awesome, bro.
Hey, give us a little plug for your podcast and stuff.
Oh, yeah, so you can catch me on the Faithful Dawgs podcast for Network 216. Shout out Ed. I love me some Ed. Just like it's probably not as much as Ed loves Ed, but I love me some Ed. And you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. If you don't feel like it, whatever, at ZachNoah52. I appreciate you, boys. You guys got a bright future ahead of you. Trust me.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Zach. Appreciate it.
All right. Peace out. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. Woo woo.